Kenji looked out into the world with a sense of frustration. It seemed as though everything around him was chaotic and unfair. Why does the world feel so unkind, he thought. Why do things always seem to go wrong, no matter how hard I try to stay positive? Seeking answers, Kenji went to the Zen Master and asked, "Master, why does the world often seem so difficult and harsh? Is it the world itself, or is something wrong with me?" The Zen Master smiled knowingly and motioned for Kenji to sit. "Kenji, let me tell you a story about a man named Akio." Akio lived in a small village, known for its beautiful landscapes and peaceful atmosphere. But Akio didn't see it that way. To him, the village was dull, the people were unfriendly, and life felt heavy. Every day, he walked through the village with a sense of dissatisfaction, believing that everyone around him was cold and distant. One day, as Akio passed by the village market, he saw an old mirror for sale. He purchased it and brought it home. As he gazed into the mirror, he saw his reflection, but what startled him was not his appearance, but the frown on his face. For the first time, Akio noticed how unhappy and tense he looked. That evening, a wise traveler visited the village. Akio approached him and asked, "Why does everything around me seem so negative and unpleasant? No matter where I look, I see unhappiness." The traveler smiled and said, "The world is like a mirror. It reflects back what you project. If you look at it with anger and sadness, that is what you will see. But if you look at it with kindness and love, the world will reflect that back to you." Akio was confused. "But how can I change the world by simply changing myself?" he asked. The traveler continued, "The world is not separate from your mind, Akio. Your perception shapes your experience. When you look at the world with a clouded mind, everything seems dark. But when you clear your mind and approach life with an open heart, you will see the beauty that was always there. The mirror only shows what is in front of it, it does not change. But you can change what you bring to it." Akio thought deeply about this and realized that his view of the village and the people around him had been a reflection of his own inner state. The dissatisfaction he had felt was not coming from the world itself, but from within him. Kenji listened closely, realizing how much his situation mirrored Akio's. He, too, had been looking at the world through the lens of his own frustration, and the world had reflected that back to him. The Zen Master continued, "Kenji, like Akio, you are seeing the world through the reflection of your own mind. When your mind is troubled, the world will seem troubled. But when your mind is clear and calm, you will see the beauty and kindness that have always been there. The world is not unkind, it simply reflects what you bring to it." Kenji sat in thought, understanding now that his view of the world was shaped by his inner state. He realized that by changing how he looked at life, his experience of life would change. "But Master," Kenji asked, "how do I begin to change my mind when everything around me feels so difficult?" The Zen Master smiled softly. "You change your mind by becoming aware of your thoughts. Begin by observing the way you react to the world. When you notice negativity rising in your mind, pause and ask yourself, is this the world, or is this my perception of it? With practice, you will learn to see the world not as it appears through the mirror of your thoughts, but as it truly is." Kenji felt a deep sense of clarity. He realized that the world would not change until he changed how he saw it, and that the key to finding peace was within his own mind. "Kenji, the world is like a mirror, it reflects back what you bring to it. If your mind is clouded with frustration and negativity, that is what you will see in the world. But if you clear your mind and approach life with love and openness, the world will reflect that beauty back to you. Remember, the mirror doesn't change, the mind does. Have you ever felt like the world was against you, like Kenji? How did changing your mindset change your experience of the world? Share your experiences in the comments. I'd love to hear how shifting your thoughts brought new clarity to your life. Remember, the world is a mirror that reflects your inner state. If this story helped you see your mind's influence on your experience, like this video and subscribe for more wisdom-filled stories. And share this story with someone who may be struggling with seeing the world through a negative lens. In this story, we learn that the world reflects back the state of our mind. When we approach life with a troubled mind, the world seems troubled. But when we clear our minds and open our hearts, the world reflects kindness and beauty back to us. The world itself doesn't change, it is our perception of it that shifts. By changing our inner state, we change how we experience the world around us.